For those of you still on the fence about Star Citizen, now's your chance to try it for free. Starting on May 22nd and going until June 1st, you'll be able to fly for free if you go to the website and sign up for a free RSI account. When you make that account though, don't forget to use somebody's referral code. Feel free to use one of my community members provided in the description. This year's event is rather special because it'll be the first time that we can set foot in the largest player-ownable ship, the Javelin. It'll be making the rounds between Port Tressler, Evers Harbor, and Baijini Point. But tours will be timed and limited, so make sure you get to the station before it departs. And if you do get a chance to check out the Javelin, I highly recommend you stop and listen to the tour guides as they offer a lot of really cool information about the ship. And then after that, you might be able to catch a glimpse outside of the over 1 kilometer long Bengal carrier, which will be making its appearance via a flyby at every one of the ports that the Javelin visits. After you've gotten your fill of those flybys, make sure you also head down to New Babbage and check out the Tobin Expo Hall, where you'll get a glimpse at a number of really cool vessels that you can actually purchase in-game and on the website, as well as a number of limited items that will only be seen in Squadron 42 because they're specific to the UE Navy. And that includes the F-8A Lightning, which is the UE Navy's premier fighter. Each day will have a different manufacturer or set of manufacturers that you can check out, and when their ships are on the show floor, you can actually rent them for free just by clicking on them. Now, some of you may be new to Star Citizen, and I understand that. And so in the next part of this video, I've prepared for you guys a quick start guide to get you up and in the air so that you can participate in this year's festivities. But if you have any more questions that this guide didn't answer, feel free to head on over to my Twitch channel, which you can find in the description below, twitch.tv/morphologists. Otherwise, if you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to show your support. In order to be as expeditious as possible, I'm going to go through this rather quickly, so feel free to pause at any moment to take it in. First thing you want to do in the main menu is click on Persistent Universe. This is going to take you to a character customization screen. Whether or not you want to do it is up to you. Feel free to play with it for a while to get your character looking how you want it. After that, it'll take you to the Persistent Universe screen. Here you can select Hangars or Stanton System, select Stanton System, and then select New Babbage for the spawn point. The reason why you want to spawn here is because this is where the Tobin Exhibition Hall is and where you're going to be able to see all the new fancy ships. Once you've done that, go down to the lower left-hand corner and click Visit Location. After a short loading screen, you should find yourself in a New Babbage hab. This is where in the future your physical inventory is going to be stored. Once you're done giving it a little bit of a look around, head on over to the door, hold the F key, and click on the Open button. This will take you out into the common hallway shared between the other player habs. You'll also get a great view out on to the city, which is definitely worth a look before you head on over to the elevators, which are located in the central part of this space. Using the elevator is the same as using the door. Hold the F key and click on Call Elevator. Once the elevator arrives, repeat that process with the elevator panel inside of the elevator and select Lobby. This will take you down to the ground floor and brings you to a lobby waiting area where you'll want to rendezvous with any other friends who may have spawned with you at New Babbage. If you're lucky and it's still daytime, you'll also be able to peek up through the glass ceiling and see the space station that we'll be traveling to later in this video. That's where we're going to see the Javelin for the tour and witness the Bengal flyby. And yes, that is the actual station. The view distances in Star Citizen are pretty insane. After you're done taking a look at that, head down the stairs past the broken NPCs, and you'll be presented with a platform with two sides. Either you can go directly to the spaceport, or you can check out the Invictus show floor, which I recommend you do first before you head up. Whichever way you choose to go, head on over to the platform and wait for the pod or train to arrive. These cars are actually physicalized, so you may need to wait a short time before the next train does get to the station, but usually it's not more than 45 seconds. After a short time, you'll find yourself arriving at the Tobin Expo Hall. Simply exit the vehicle and head on up the stairs to find yourself at the main lobby. It's here that you'll be able to buy a number of limited items that you can wear on your player character. These items are not for sale for real money, so feel free to click on them and buy them with in-game money. To buy something, simply hold F and then click Buy. That'll take you to your Mobiglass and a buy screen. After that, hit F1 once more to bring up your Mobiglass. Now this is what you're going to use to access things like your inventory, your ship inventory, and missions. To equip or unequip items that you may have on your character, you can click on that little guy icon and then go to the different tabs here to equip things like weapons, undersuits, clothing, and utilities. This is going to be really important for you to actually play Star Citizen, so take some time to familiarize yourself with this system. Once you've selected what you want to equip to your player, you can go ahead and hit Save Changes and Equip, and you'll be able to exit your mobiGlas and have those items equipped to your character. Just make sure that before you head on into space that you re-equip your spacesuit or you will suffocate and die. Once you're ready then, head on over to the back of the hall and you'll be able to find an elevator that will take you to the show floor for whatever ship show is going on for that particular day. Once you've seen what there is to see at the ship show, you may want to then head on up into space. To do so, we need to head on over to the spaceport, which can be accessed again through the public transit system. If you guys are curious about how this looks, you can actually find a map located inside of the transit system that shows you each individual stop. There will be a few stops on the way, like the Commons. You can stop there if you like and take a look around, but if you stay on there, you'll eventually find yourself going across a frozen lake to a large structure in a mountainside. This is the New Babbage Spaceport. If you ended up on the right spot, you'll know that by heading through a security checkpoint. This makes sure you're not carrying any weapons into the city, but you're leaving, so you're probably just fine. The spaceport itself has a great view out into the city, so it's definitely worth taking a peek at that, but when you're done, if you head to the back, this is where the Drake Defense Con is going to take place on the very last day of the Free Fly Week. So definitely make sure you check that out. It's got a number of really cool ships, including the Drake Cutlass Black, which I would say is the best entry-level multi-crew ship that you can get your hands on. But by now I'm sure you guys are itching to get into space, and so let's head on over to the hangars with their ASOP terminals. These terminals are how you're going to access your ships and your ship insurance. Simply go up to it, hold F to access it, and click on it. Here you'll find whatever ships are available to you at that time. I've got quite a few, so you probably won't see quite this many, but once you find the ship that you want to fly, go ahead and hit the Retrieve button on the right-hand side. This will bring your ship into one of the hangars available at the spaceport, which will be shown here on the screen, but if you missed it, don't worry, it'll also show up on your HUD for exactly which hangar it's in. To access it, again, we're going through elevators. This will take us directly to the hangar. Later this year, like the Habs, hangars are going to be places where you store big items, like cargo, extra modules, and weapons that you would want to equip on your ship. It will be a persistent place that you'll be able to continually revisit and add stuff to as you play Star Citizen. As such, it's kind of a cool place to take a look around. As a reminder though, now is a really good time to put your spacesuit back on as we're about to actually fly into space, so go ahead and head back to your mobiGlas like I had shown you earlier in the video and equip your spacesuit and your helmet. After that, I highly recommend you take a walk around the vessel you've chosen to fly, as ships in Star Citizen tend to be incredibly well detailed. It's also going to be necessary to do this to actually find out how to get into the ship. Luckily, they've got nifty icons that say hatch, which will tell you where to go to get inside. Simply hold F and click Enter, just like we had done with elevators in the past. Once inside, find the flight seat and repeat this process to get inside of the cockpit. Now, this is going to be a little bit overwhelming if you've not ever played Star Citizen before, so don't worry about these MFDs just yet. That's something you can learn about later. The basics are you just need to be able to turn the ship on. So hold the F key and look for the Flight Ready button. Once you've located it, the ship will power up, including the engines, and you're basically ready to go. But there's one other thing you have to do, and this is one of the reasons why I actually created this guide. You actually need to call ATC to permit you to exit the hangar. So you can either click on it on one of your MFDs or hit the F1 button and go to the comm link and find the spaceport in your friends list. Here, click on the hail button and that will activate the launch sequence. The doors should then start to open. To fly is a bit more complicated, and I recommend that you check out the settings page before you actually do this. But as a quick start guide here, the WASD keys basically control your forward and horizontal thrust, with the spacebar controlling your upward thrust and the control button controlling your downward thrust. To retract your landing gear, hit N, and then use your mouse to use your pitch and yaw. To roll, you're going to want to use the Q and E keys, but there's no need to roll just yet, so just fly forward and get outside of the hangar to start off with to give yourself a little bit more space to try maneuvering. And before you do fly to the spaceport, I highly recommend you get yourself familiar with the way ships fly in Star Citizen. They will fly a bit different in space, but flying in atmosphere is a good way to get started. Just try not to do too many tricks when you start off here, because you're probably liable to end up blowing yourself up and having to go reclaim your ship through the ASOP terminal that I showed you guys earlier. Once you've done your fair share of barrel rolls and gathered enough confidence to say that you can fly in Star Citizen, it's time to head up to the space station, and that means we're going to have to use the quantum drive. Now the space station, like I showed you earlier in this video, is directly above New Babbage, so pitch up and hit B. B is going to start to spool your quantum drive. Look for the box icon. This is going to be Port Tressler if you're starting at New Babbage. This is where you're going to want to QT to. But you're not going to be able to QT to them immediately. You're going to have to get high enough above atmosphere in order to be able to activate your quantum drive. Once you're high enough, everything will go blue, it will spool up completely, and then you can hold B to activate the drive and jump to the station. Now, once you arrive, you'll still be a little bit further away. Fear not, you're just gonna have to fly a bit closer in order to land. Just remember, guys, that you're in space now, so there's no air resistance. The faster you go, the harder it is to stop, so you may end up running into the station if you're traveling too fast. I recommend using the scroll wheel to limit your top speed. That way you don't go too fast before you hit the range that you need to be in order to request landing from Port Tressler. And by the way, this can be done in the same way we requested ATC takeoff on New Babbage. Hit F1, go to your comm link when in range, and go to the friends list to find Port Tressler to hail them. Once you've hailed them, wait for a second and they're going to give you a landing bay to proceed to. There should be a UI element in the form of a circle and a chevron that directs you to the pad that you're permitted to land on. Once you get near it, hit N to deploy your landing gear and gently land on the pad. Here you're able to blow up if you land too harshly, so take your time. To get out of your seat, hold Y, just the same as we held Y to get out of the hab in the beginning of this video. Now you're going to want to exit the vehicle the same way you got in. Left or right doesn't matter here in the Aurora. Welcome to Port Tressler. This massive station is only one of many you'll find around the Stanton system and eventually in other parts of the universe. Once you've brought your jaw up off the floor, head on over to the elevator terminal, which you'll find inside the station, and that's going to take you to the lobby. And that's it. Congratulations, Star Citizen, you made it up into space. Hopefully on your first try, if I did a good enough job explaining everything. Now when you arrive, the Javelin may not yet be here. In order to check, you can either listen for the announcements over the loudspeaker or check one of these handy screens along the walls to tell you the next time it arrives. But that's about everything you need to know to get started in Star Citizen for this year's event. If you want to find out more about Star Citizen, I have quite a few more videos here on this channel, so be sure to check them out. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys in the next one.